Bion MTG. Construct your deck, command your board, conquer the table.
Hello out there in the wide world of web. This is Rob with Bion MTG. So today's video is definitely going to be a little bit different. In the past, I've done new Magic pickups or deck tech ideas, things like that. But there's a weird new hobby that I've been getting into, and that is vintage toys. So my intentions with the vintage toy thing is not, hey, I'm going to try and collect everything, but more so just like integral things that were important to me as a kid, or ones that had a funny story that I never actually got, kind of scenarios. But I'm going to go through my recent pickups and also some Magic cards that I did pick up. So I'm going to pause here and bring up the first toy. So this is Jetfire, or Skyfire, I think is what they called them in the cartoon, something like that. It is from, I think, 1984 or something like that. And it is a Transformer, Generation 1 Transformer. And he's got a ton of these little body armor pieces and little clips that go all over him. And a decal kit that has like a million stickers on him. And this is renowned for this yellowing and not perfect condition, but this guy is in pretty good shape, and I was really excited to pick him up because I found him locally here in Spokane, just on Marketplace, and it was missing two pieces when I picked it up. It was missing this back armor piece that the rocket boosters connect to, and it was missing this. Let me see if I can get close to it and see if it will zoom in or clear up. I don't know if it will. Maybe this is good. This little gun clip thing, and the gun clip like hooks to the bottom of the arm, and the rifle can slide into it if it is in jet mode. And I'll pop up pictures of all three modes, but it was missing those two pieces. So I emailed the lady who sold this to me, and she was able to locate the gun clip and sent me a message and just texted me, and I swung by and picked it up. This piece she was never able to find, so I ordered that on eBay just to be able to put the rocket boosters on the back and to have it complete. But yeah, I'm not going to do a restoration to it or anything. It was missing a few of its stickers, and the arm was broken. And you can hear it. I'll see if you can hear it audibly. Yeah, I'll see if I can put that soundbite closer. He has a little plastic gear in the arm, and it was completely missing, and it was missing a spring. But I was able to find an STL. If you don't know what that is, it's more or less a 3D file for 3D printing. And my buddy Jason 3D printed the gear for me, and the spring that was missing, well, I clipped a piece of spring from the interior of a ballpoint pen and opened it up a little bit, changed the circumference of it to fit him correctly, and now the arm works perfect because it used to just droop, and now it's in full functional. It's not perfect condition, but my intentions with collecting these toys is not I want mint condition and in box. I'm trying to recapture what the memory was as a kid, and I would have opened it. I would have played with it. It wouldn't have been in perfect condition. And yeah, Jetfire. Super cool toy, and really happy to have this as the first of the collection. And I'm going to discuss later what the intentions are with it. Okay, the second one is very large. This is the Cobra Hydrofoil. It's got all sorts of different functions to it. This pushes down, and there's missiles in there. I think you can see those. The back opens up, and there's little depth charges. It's got these little machine guns across the back. But weirdly enough, there is a searchlight, and I'm going to see if I can get a clear shot of it. But the lens on this searchlight apparently is harder to find than that little gun clip from the Jetfire. It does have these little hydrofoil things on the back, and you can pull it and they slide down. I leave it down because on the shelf, that's kind of how I have it. So I wanted to have this. It's funny because, and I might pop up a bit of the commercial, but when I was a kid, I memorized the song for this silly boat and tried to convince my dad to get one for me for Christmas by performing the song, and he never did.
Cobra Hydroforce shooting across the water is an evil new foe. Cobra Hydroforce gonna get G.I. Joe.
But I guess that's kind of the thing with collecting toys as an adult. You're just kind of like re-going through your childhood and sometimes recapturing things that you never had. It does have the pilot, the hydrofoil pilot, and he comes with a small arms, like a weapon of some sort. And it also had the card. This one I got from a local game store, or not game store, but toys and collectibles called Time Bomb Collectibles here in Spokane, Washington. So the first one that I showed you, I got on Marketplace, and this one was just a local store here in Spokane, Washington. Okay, continuing with the G.I. Joe, this is Serpentor, and he has this little hover chariot thing, and it has all the pieces, and the little snakehead thing moves, and it's got this little rotator debacle thing on the back. And apparently on the Serpentor, his cloak will tear a lot, and he's in good condition. He has his little dagger, he has his little snake friend. It's in pretty good shape. It doesn't have any of the decals that are supposed to be on here, so I was toying with the notion, anyways, kind of thinking about ordering either if I could find an original sticker sheet or a reproduction sticker sheet to try and just put it back to how it's supposed to look. Serpentor was, I thought he was pretty cool because Cobra Commander was like the main bad guy and he was the leader of them. And then this guy kind of came out of nowhere, and I just really connected more with him as the bad guy than Cobra Commander. And I don't know if that's blasphemy or not from a G.I. Joe purist, but this was one of them that I thought was super cool and I wanted to have, so I scooped him up. This one also came from Time Bomb Collectibles here in Spokane. So yeah, just thought it was super cool, and it was complete except for the stickers, but that's nothing that I can't fix. And as I alluded to earlier, my intentions aren't to make them perfect mint, how they just straight out of the box, but just kind of how they were in my memory as a kiddo. And that doesn't mean perfect, that just means most of the stuff. All right, that brings me to the last things that I picked up, and that's actually going to be Magic cards, because this is originally a Magic channel, and still is mostly a Magic channel. Some of them are just staples for the 93, 94 stuff that I intend on start to record. A Chain Lightning, just figured I would need some lightning bolts and some burn. This, weirdly enough, just kind of got handed to me. I didn't really pay anything for this, and the person that gave it to me said, don't say anything, don't give me a shout out in the video, and I won't. I'll respect that, but you know who you are, and I appreciate it. This, I'm going to save this for last. This one I picked up from a local collector, just somebody who was liquidating their collection on Facebook, and a Spokane Magic group, and it is a really clean Tanos' coffin, but more importantly, Christopher Rush. This is the, I think, Generation 3 signature style that Christopher Rush did. If you're a Christopher Rush fan or a signature collector, you know that Christopher Rush is no longer with us, so their autographs are becoming harder and harder to find. And I have a handful of Christopher Rush autographs, but most of mine are all their first generation, so it's a lot smaller and just pen based, and not this what has ended up being like the the more iconic and more recognized signature from Christopher Rush. And I genuinely prefer the original because to me, it's more nostalgic to who they are or who they were at the root of the beginning of this. And that's where you find artists in their purest form, but when they're just trying to discover who they are in those first couple autographs, because at that point in their life, they probably never even assumed people would be asking for their autographs. That's why I prefer the original generation autographs. And I'll probably pop one up on the screen. If I can't find one online, I'll take a couple pictures of some that I have, but I'll pop them up. But yeah, I didn't have a Generation 3 autograph. This came from another collector, and looking at the back, there's a couple things you might notice immediately. One, it is heavy played, and that is an understatement. But two, you'll notice those corners are a lot more rounded, and that's because this is an alpha card. And the number of alpha rares, I think the print number was 1,100 of each alpha rare. So to get an alpha rare is pretty hard to find. And even more so, I've seen some estimations that roughly half, because it wasn't known that it was going to be that collectible, but roughly half of that 1,100 are lost due to damage or just thrown away because they weren't known that they were going to be anything. But this is an Alpha Goblin King, just a really cool card. And I don't have a lot of alpha rares. I don't have that many alpha cards in general, but having an opportunity to get one, I thought even heavy played, it's still something that I wanted and still something that I think is super cool. So yeah, on top of the toys, this is my most recent pickups and just some Magic the Gathering stuff. Well, I hope you appreciate and enjoyed seeing my recent pickups. If you had any recent pickups of your own, can you pop them down in the comments and we can start some dialogue? Or if you're into collecting vintage toys, because it's something that's still relatively new to me, and I'd never really thought about it, but just kind of the Jetfire presented itself on Marketplace, and I was like, man, I always wanted to, I wish I would have kept that. But when I joined the Army, I kind of just got rid of everything. So I didn't keep a lot of my old toys. In fact, I didn't keep any of my old toys. The only thing that I kept from when I was a kid is some fishing gear. But yeah, so seeing that old toy kind of inspired that collecting, and I'm pretty much just going to keep it to primary intellectual properties that were super important to me as a kid. And I think I could probably summarize that with Transformers, Voltron, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, and Star Wars really were the main things. Yeah, I can't think of another one that was super important to me as a kid. Like, I watched other cartoons, but they didn't really connect to me. Like, I liked Silverhawk and stuff like that, but it wasn't. Or maybe Mask, the cars that could transform and had a hidden version inside of themselves. But I think just the ones that I named previously are probably going to be the main ones that I want to get, like, one key piece that really spoke to me. The G.I. Joe, having two of them, just kind of happened because they were there at the exact same shop. So that was a bit of an impulse buy, and I'm not saying it won't ever happen again, but yeah. Overall, I hope you all are having a great day. And let me know down in the comments what kind of hobbies or new pickups you guys have found, and look forward to conversing with you down below. I'm Rob. This is Bion MTG. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.